Hi there, Ron here, Variable Play, and welcome to another Open Game Night.
Game
Open game
night!
night.
It's open.
Yep.
Oh,
And
Good
it's
evening,
night,
everyone.
and we're
viewers.
gonna play a game. So,
Good
Yeah.
looky there. Hey,
Bringing
cool.
you some more quality content.
Game night ain't game night without a game. Well,
so
that's most of the
Ron
time.
here.
Hey, everyone. Happy
Keo.
here.
Keo over here. How are you, Arm Cam?
And the Sunday Night Magic.
Yeah, Sunday Night Magic. All right.
When,
So before
when
we
your
get
intro
started with
comes on,
everything,
Hey,
we don't
Ivan.
have our usual social media bombardment from Denmark. So for those of you who are watching, please tell your friends. Come on, get everyone in.
Oh yeah,
We
share
have
the
a
link.
fun episode today.
You
hi
promise?
Ivan.
Hey, Ivan. What's up,
Hey,
man?
yeah. Love the quiz. Love the quiz.
Ooh, yes, Ivan is coming out with a new episode sometime in the future.
Sometime in the future. Hey,
Yes.
it's Margie.
Morgan.
Hey,
Hey,
Margie.
Morgan.
I'm gonna message you, Morgan, very soon.
All right.
Did you
So,
guys,
okay. Sorry, go ahead.
did you guys get to watch my episode yesterday?
Yeah, I
Which
did.
Or
the
the Sokoban?
Oh yeah, no,
Man.
I didn't watch everything. I got a glimpse of it for a moment though.
Okay. So it was my first foray
Ooh.
into wiring in the audio from my apps and the voice. So
Pretty
surprisingly, it
loud,
worked. Yeah,
Very clear.
I had to like dial it down further, but pretty cool. So obviously, you guys know what I have been playing.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we
Yes.
do.
Yes,
Mhm.
I gave a glimpse for everyone to on stream yesterday. But what have you guys been playing?
I actually have not been gaming at all. The most that I've done is maybe on my phone playing Star Realms. So
Mhm.
yeah, I am disappointed in the gamer in me.
Okay.
Me, I have been playing a little bit of For the King
Oh,
on Steam. Yeah, that's a good game. That's a good game. I'll invite you guys over to play it with me too as well soon.
Yes, when we can.
Oh yeah, you guys can.
all right. And any? Oh, I noticed recently. I think Neutral Grounds had the
Yeah,
sale, right?
The
they have a
So
promo, right?
sale.
I think there's a lot of
OMG.
I think it
it's
has. Is it like 23rd anniversary or something?
yes. So happy 23rd anniversary,
Right,
Neutral
right.
Grounds.
Happy anniversary, neutral
Yes.
ground.
Which kind of
Thank you for always bringing us to the brink of brokenness.
But with a smile. I'm broke.
now that I think about it, that would have meant that I have been playing Magic for, or at least some sort of tabletop gaming for 23 years.
At least.
Dude, if you
At least.
did you watch my episode on Sunday?
Yes, I
That
did.
Magic is moving to their 30th year,
I
sir.
know,
But it's
dude.
technically 29th. They don't know how to count. They're as bad as WWE. So, but it's 29th anniversary. But
Okay.
that it's been around for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, people's had kids already. They're like titos and lolos now by now. And they're
Yeah.
still playing Magic. That's
There are
great.
cards that are
Excellent.
older than your children.
That is actually not. It is true. I mean, I have cards that are older than my son. He's 18. He just turned 18. So, yeah.
Wait, he's
Yeah.
18 now? Wow, dude.
Yes. Yes, I have an 18-year-old.
Mm.
So
Cool.
let's get down to business, gentlemen. What are we doing this evening?
All right, hang on.
Speaking
Let me
of.
just send to two more groups at least.
Oh, you're the social media head. Okay.
Yeah, no, okay, so fine. So, Keo, when
Yeah.
can our viewers expect the next installment of the Hairy Arm Cam?
Very soon, I'm making the final arrangements and editing the last part, the second opinion. It's gonna be a doozy. Simple, but a doozy.
Wait, was that the second opinion I was a part of?
Yes. Heck
You
yes.
you 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 managed to edit that?
Oh, we're gonna end.
He's
We're
gonna
gonna
half of
force
talk
it.
about
half of
that.
our gaming session wasn't even recorded.
You'd be surprised how this comes out.
Okay,
All
now I'm
right.
worried.
Oh yeah, be so. Yeah.
There.
So
I'm looking for
tonight,
bots.
you guys have read the topic from our write-ups in
Yes.
the post. So
Tonight we gamble with our very lives as we recommend games to you people.
We
that
are
sounds so bad, right? Sounds so bad, does it?
well.
Is it?
Well, the idea was because I think Kyo and
Was it me?
you, well,
Was it
it
me?
was you, and then Denmark also, and I think Clint also mentioned something. We all had some ideas of like what to put as our topic for today, but there was a lot of them, and so we just thought maybe we could just stick them all in a wheel. And
Yeah.
Stick it to the wheel.
Good
Stick
evening,
it to the
Lubin.
wheel.
good
Lubin?
evening, Lupin. All right. So the idea is we're gonna make recommendations. Ooh, it's kind of
Hey,
fun
roulette.
from the wheel of
Roulette.
names.
Yes, so
Yeah.
what you are seeing in front of you are occupations or fields of industry. And what we're going to do is that we are going to randomly select one and base our game recommendations for people who are in that industry.
Yeah, I think this was also inspired from the really great episode from G's at the Table. So from
Yes,
Morgan
jeez.
and from Ronnie.
Shout out to Morgan
It
and
all, I
Ronnie.
remember it started from their episode with Dwayne at, was it Top Shelf or something like that. But their show in GL with Willow. So they guessed
Shout out to our buddy Dwayne.
Dwayne, Willow.
And
So
Willow.
so Morgan
Yep.
did a recommendation for couples or at least for dating. They reinforced that the
For
next day.
dating.
Yeah.
For
And
dating.
a lot of the sort of um, people were recommending were coming from, okay, so if they're into this, then you should try to recommend this and that. And we kind of were inspired from that idea and said, maybe if like it would be cool if you have a good database of, or at least a quick list. If you meet somebody from this industry and they said, "Hey, Ron, I heard you're into board gaming," and you're like, "Yeah, I am." Would you be interested to?
I would be surprised. Like, oh, you know my name? Who are you? You into board gaming? Oh, you've been stalking me, haven't you? Huh?
All right.
Who are you again?
So I guess what we're gonna try to do is just have like maybe 3 recommendations of games. We can talk about the game is, and why we're recommending it for that specific industry.
Right? That can work.
This has not been
Sure.
rehearsed. We
Hey, it's
tried.
Dwayne.
Dude,
Hi,
tried.
Dwayne. Hello, hello. Hey,
We
Dwayne,
tried
I
to-
just want to point out that you've had Clint and Morgan on your show. That I know that you're picking up just all the good-looking guys, but if you want some nonsense, me and KO are so down.
We're not good looking. Okay, that's fine.
No,
you
no,
know,
we're
that's
not.
fine, that's fine. No, we're not.
Right? Wala daw engineering. There is.
Yeah, na, I added it na. Oops.
Oh,
And
we
I
added
just
it na. Hey,
Sorry.
Oh,
na
here we
click
go.
ko, na
Here we
click.
go.
tell
Oh.
me, guys.
Oh,
in
okay.
the
So fine,
comments.
we're going with manufacturing. Okay, interesting.
All right, tonight is manufacturing.
I already have something that immediately comes to mind.
All right. So I just
Give me a
Dwayne,
second.
I just added engineering. But so okay. Manufacturing. So I guess like retail, well, manufacturing, like apparel, shoes. And,
Right. Well, so looking at our list, like we don't particularly have like logistics. So manufacturing does kind of have like a role related to that. So one thing that immediately comes to mind is pickup and delivery.
oh, I like that idea.
Mm.
Very good, very good, very good. So,
So you can technically slap on different themes to this depending on
mhm.
their preference. Like one
So
that
start with
immediately
one.
comes
Yeah,
to one
go
that
ahead.
immediately comes to mind for me is Black Fleet.
Okay,
Oh
okay.
yeah,
So it's
dude. Yeah.
pirates, sure, but essentially you are taking things from location A to location B and hoping not to get sank and just to get and earn some money. So
Okay, okay. So Blackfeet is a pirate game, but it has this pick up and deliver core mechanic, right?
right.
Oh yeah, and
Okay.
stealing too as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically manufacturing always has like, like raw material to finished product. So I
Yes.
think that in terms of like pickup and delivery, like start to end point can translate well. So that's what I would initially recommend.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 I would actually. Well, you don't like this game, but this is actually the the quickest one in my mind because of like for me when you
Don't
say it's
don't say
manufactured.
Motanai.
I
No,
was
no, no,
gonna
it's not.
say Munchkin.
Oh,
So manufacturing for me felt more like I
Connected.
have to turn this good to this good to this good to this
oh
good.
dear God, no,
Oh,
no,
oh,
Ron,
oh,
no.
oh.
Never recommend that to anyone.
So I'm gonna recommend Century Spice Golem Edition because it's a
There you
prettier
go.
version.
Fine, fine, that's an exception, but still Century Spice.
I
Oh
yeah
no, Century Golem, fine.
yeah Century Golem. So you're
We're
basically
trying to win gamers, not lose them.
no. I think they will still enjoy that. But that is my first recommendation. It is basically Century Spice. You play cards, and you have these sort of conversion icons on those cards, and you take your resources, put it back in your bin, and you upgrade them to be able to achieve certain objectives. And if you are the first one to do that in the game, you probably will win.
Manufacturing.
All right. How about you, Kia?
Does Potion Explosion count?
Hey, that can work. That can work.
Yeah, that's good. There's a manufacturing line there. Well, how many lines
That
it has?
Yeah,
That's
so
Multiple lines.
true.
yeah,
So
you're gathering ingredients to make potions. Fair enough. I mean, actually, there is one here that came up that is right in line with that, which is the
Oh, there you go. Look
quacks.
at that.
So, yep.
Quacks is
So,
gonna be.
potion explosion and quacks are very similar in terms of objective.
yes, and Morgan and Desky and I were in the same Euro perspective for manufacturing.
Yes.
Brass.
So
Why?
you have
Why
brass,
choose games like
you know,
this?
Brass.
brass, and of course Kanban. Absolutely, Kanban is the perfect one because it is manufacturing cars,
Hmm.
and that is the whole point of the game. I actually
Mm-hmm.
would already start my second recommendation because that will be what's the name? Kraftwagen. That's my
Yeah,
Kanban.
craft wagon's pretty good.
So Kraftwagen
Wagen.
is a rondel system
Hmm.
where you're sort of picking up certain actions and you're basically manufacturing these really cool Ford XT uh, 60s vehicles. Is it 60s? Maybe even late earlier, right?
Nah, yeah, it might be like between that eras. So like I remember seeing some pretty old cars in some of the art. So
Yes, but yeah.
That's cool.
So
That's cool.
really fun, and you get that feeling of as you have more engineers and you have more people that are working on your factory, you're able to create sort of better engines. That is
yeah. All right.
all
So
right.
that Dwayne threw in Brass Birmingham. So yeah, so Brass was mentioned. So this
Mhm.
is the specific version. And okay, interesting. Rococo.
Yes, yes. Textile manufacturing,
Textile.
absolutely. So that's why I
No.
manufacturing felt really more Euro to me.
And look who's online.
Hey, you're not sleeping,
in
boy?
Denmark.
Why aren't you here?
In Denmark. All right. How about you, Keo? Do you have a second? And Javi, do you guys have a second
I have a
one to
second one in
recommend?
mind. It's a yeah. I think this fits.
My
XCOM.
second one, is a little stranger. The theme itself is a little bleak, but I think that it does the
Digging it.
manufacturing job pretty well, and that is Euphoria. So it is worker
Mm.
placement,
Oh,
it is
okay.
manufacturing. So it
Yeah,
just happens to be in a dystopian future. Fair enough. But I think that in terms
I
of the
like it.
mechanics, it fits right into that industry.
Yeah, yeah. It is a very industrial theme. You're using dice for worker placement, but if they get angry because you oppress them, make them work too much, and they leave,
Oh.
Yeah.
which is like how factories are sometimes when they overextend their employees. Yeah, sounds that is very so like if you're gonna tell somebody who just met and they're into the manufacturing business. Hey, you know those workers that you want to make them work more? Here's a game.
Yeah. Say you can push your workers. I guess you can, but there's discontent.
And there's some lessons
Ooh.
learned there, right? So some catharsis too. How about you, Keo? What was your
I was
second
saying a while ago,
recommendation?
yeah, XCOM, because in XCOM there is a manufacturing job, which is
Oh,
the scientist.
Oh,
okay,
so
The
this
okay,
okay, okay.
okay,
scientist, he
okay,
manufactures with the budget
okay.
provided by him by another player. So he
All
has to
right.
make sure that he does the right thing, creates the right things for the immediate scenario in front of him, which means that's like thinking ahead for manufacturing, understanding how is required to make the engine work. Because if you don't create the the correct items, your other players will not be efficient as they should be. So
Okay,
there you go.
okay.
Yeah, XCOM.
All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So my main recommendation for this would be let me just remember the name correctly. I think it is Factory Manager
That's
from the
very.
Power Grid line.
Oh, okay.
So Factory Manager is you're basically building up a real factory. You have these different sort of work areas that you can put machines in, put workers there, or you can put robots to automate those machines. And you're basically trying to produce goods versus your sort of consumption, and you want to bring that up as best as you could. So in essence, you want to make your factory manufacture your goods as efficiently as possible, and whatever the lower of those is pretty much your points at the end of the game. But it's you're basically drafting for which um, new machine you're going to add to your factory, put workers there, and you're constantly balancing this power output and input for goods and money and whatnot. But that is um, factory manager from the power grid line.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Hey, not bad. That's like the top of the cake.
So my last one is it's a little it deviates a little bit, but I think that it can apply to people who would be in the manufacturing industry, and I would actually recommend Pan Am.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay,
dude,
Okay.
because
yeah.
technically this is about like the operations of
Right.
running an airline. You still
Okay.
have to produce the planes, you still have to create the routes. So there
Mm-hmm,
is
mm-hmm.
still a lot of not necessarily manufacturing, but there is like you have to put a foundation in place in order for your company to actually function and be able to complete flights. So it does take them it might take them away from the industry, but the mechanics underneath Pan Am, I think fit right in with again the manufacturing industry.
Yeah, I mean the whole supply chain from Brass Birmingham, it's sort of the same idea. You have to build up your resources to be able to afford the bigger planes, and you're trying to catch certain routes. So it could work. It's a little bit more really leaning towards the logistics side, but there is
Yeah.
some
The
manufacturing in it.
logistics, yeah. Good
That's why
point.
All right,
that's why I
That's
prefaced this
excellent,
at the
Alan.
start that we don't have logistics, so
that's
it
true.
seems
That's
like
true.
they kind of go hand in hand in a way.
Cool, cool, cool. Got it. How
Nice.
about
That's
you,
good
Theo?
advice. My third board game about manufacturing. Oh man, that's I don't really. Uh, I was gonna say food chain magnate, but no, it's more of an industry kind of thing.
You know
Right?
what I had in mind that I don't know. I'm trying to think of a game that fits well with it, but programming games. I'm like, maybe Colt Express doesn't exactly work, but Robo Rally?
Okay,
Hmm.
okay, but this is kind of what we talked about. That you don't really have to connect the theme to
That's right.
your
That's
to
right.
your to your friend or the person that you met that is working in that industry. Sometimes they even want to avoid those themes because they're already kind of fed up about it. I
That's
remember I
true.
was so excited to teach power grid. I was like, okay, I'm gonna teach you guys power grid. This is blah 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 blah. And then the guy goes, wait. What is the game about? Um, so we're building up, buying resources to build up these power plants. Oh no, absolutely not. Uh, okay. So I had to ask, like, any particular reason why you're not interested? Oh, I work for the power industry. That's what I do every day. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure,
Nagkataon,
no
ano?
problem. Got that. So sometimes you wanna be able to pivot from things that they're good at. So
Sure.
like exactly like
So
programming,
we'll
optimizing.
focus on the fantasy and sci-fi themes because there's no possible way that they're doing that for a living now.
That's true. Yeah, but I
Maybe the
think
most
the
efficient.
your
I
suggestion
I will
for
change my worker placement game to Stone Age.
Oh man.
but I
Hey,
think Euphoria is pretty
you're
cool.
still gathering resources and making huts and making babies and making other things. Like, it's still
Fair enough. Fair enough.
manufacturing.
You're manufacturing something. Okay, how about you, Kyo? None for the last one.
Nothing
Okay,
in
all
top of my
right,
head.
all right. Okay. Anyway, have we covered for that extra one, which
Yeah, thanks,
was
Javi.
Stone Age.
Good
Stone
advice.
Age.
Stone Age. Yeah, Stone Age.
Okay, all right. Let's move on. We still have
Wait, you didn't have a third one.
I did. I did have a third one. Oh, of course. I forgot. My third one is you guys could have guessed it already.
What, pan?
Panamax.
Yeah.
Okay, there you
Okay,
go.
fine. It goes without saying.
Yes.
I think if you can just get anyone to play the game, you would bring it out,
Yes.
regardless of industry.
I will squeeze it in. No. No. So the whole
You're a
challenge
preschool
about
teacher, Panamax.
Yes. You're a race car driver, Panamax.
so with Panamax you have goods that are being produced from the east side of the world and it needs to be delivered to the west side of the world and you have to work with other companies to move those cargo to your destination. So it's not exactly the manufacturing process. You've already, as what Happy said, already in the logistics side of things. I think I haven't talked about Panamax more than enough. Okay, let's try
Cool.
another topic.
All right, yeah.
Let's go.
We made good
Roll
time.
it.
So
All right, that's one down. Next is
Oh,
oh
so
okay.
oh
as
oh.
late ad from Dwayne, but now we have
So if
it.
we can't think of any games, we blame you, Dwayne.
All right.
Engineering.
So, okay, for engineering, I would go with so my first recommendation quickly is blueprints.
Oh
So
yeah.
blueprints is you have um, a design. It's really just dice. You're stacking dice and you're drafting dice, but it looks really nice and very light mechanics. That the theme, while it's very thin in terms of what it really interacts with the game, I think um, it's a good sort of gateway into the hub. Hey, I know you're an engineer. We have this game called Blueprints. Oh, you guys are gonna be designing? No, no, we're just drafting dice, but it's simple. So have a seat and let's try to play. So my number three recommendation: Blueprints.
Denmark's using up my choices here, man. But they're actually Morgan also just mentioned another one that comes to mind. So, but okay, instead I'm gonna go with Meeple Circus.
I
Oh,
don't know.
Okay,
okay,
yeah,
nice,
I
That's
don't
nice.
I don't necessarily like this game, but the fact that you have to like balance meeples on top of each other, like I guess maybe dexterity might be something that will interest them,
Yeah,
but at the
especially
same
if
time,
they're
it also might frustrate the hell out of them.
yeah, especially if they're like a
Engineer.
structural engineer where they need to like, oh wait, that's not going to be balanced. You need the beam support here, so
You got a
so they would have
better
some
base.
technical advantage of
Foundation should be
stacking
stronger.
those meeples together.
Right.
Me, I would go for my first third choice, or let's say a choice, any deck builder. Any
Oh,
deck
Okay.
builder, whereas you have to think ahead. You have to think of what design you want your plain deck in the beginning and make it work out better than anyone else's. Making sure you get the correct cards and then making do with events that are unplanned, like say, oh, you got that card, I wanted that card, I should make do with this one. And from there you make it work. It is pretty good. For engineers with that kind of mentality, yeah, deck builders.
cool, cool.
Anything would be nice.
Okay, good
Uh,
point.
all right, all right. Actually, what came up to mind is actually a game I wouldn't recommend. It's something that they do because I've seen it fail with engineers. And I kind of want to just mention it. So, if you guys want to see your engineer friends to struggle,
Breakdown.
so so there's this game called Keep Talking Nobody Explodes.
Oh my god, why this
Oh,
game? I'll play this game
dude.
any day of the week, but yeah, if you take this seriously, you are going to have an aneurysm.
So it was very
Keep
interesting because we
talking.
played
Yeah,
it with a group,
dude.
and there were teams of engineers, and it was because of course it was more game mechanics rather than like a technical thing. It was something they weren't that familiar with, and it was odd to sort of we made it sort of weird co-op where we have different teams but they can all help each other. And one mentioned, oh, cut the yellow wire, and then of course it was an error, and then the next team would say the same thing, cut the yellow wire. It's like, wait, you weren't listening. They just said cut the yellow wire. And then another team would say the same thing again, and we're like, my friend and I were looking at what's going on. And it's that saying, you have a lot of engineers trying to fix a light bulb, that they would build a whole technology to place the light bulb, something like that. Anyways, sorry, off the rails. So if you want your engineering friends to struggle, maybe try to have them solve.
They'll be yelling at each other within 5 minutes.
Wow.
Okay, how about you, Abby?
Stop talking.
All right, let's take this down to something simpler and also very toned down. I would actually recommend Takenoko.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yep, you kind of have to plan out and adjust based on everyone's actions that how the board actually is created. And then you have to line water to reach certain areas that you're trying to meet objectives. You have to maintain growth levels of bamboo to a certain height and also trim them out by feeding it to the
Mm,
panda. So there's like little things that you're juggling around that requires a lot of planning,
mhm.
but all of you are sharing the same space. So that's where the challenge comes in.
I like it.
So
That's a good.
you
That's a
can
good way
kind
of
of
putting it.
have your perfect garden, or it can be an absolute disaster.
I like that. I like that. I mean, because as engineers, they would be always working with a lot of different people. They would be working with architects. They would be working with, construction workers. Yeah,
Oops.
Hmm.
That's a good
You're giving me
suggestion. Cool,
an
cool, cool.
I mean, it's very toned down. I mean, it has some fundamentals, I assume, but at the same time, since it's a cute little game, I think that it's also maybe it should have been my first suggestion. It's a good stepping stone into the games.
Okay, cool, cool. All
Hmm.
right, Keel.
I have a digital game in mind called
Mhm.
Pico Park.
Okay.
Pico Park is a digital game, whereas everybody, at least I think 8 to 12 players, control what do you call this? Pixelated cats. Okay,
Okay.
and then they they have to. The only thing they can do is jump up and down, move left and right, but there are obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
Obstacles that only certain cooperation skills will you be able to get past. Like say, how considering that it's pixelated, so there's no 3D movement or there's no 2D, freehand movement. You're just jumping up and down. You're pixelated, but
Mm-hmm.
everyone can go up on top of each other. So let's say there's a gap in the floor. The exit's on the right, but there's a gap on the floor. How will you get past that? And there's a lever on the right side where you have to get past. So if I remember correctly, the the
This feels
players
like this feels like portals. Like you have to get to this lever. Like make a hole here, come out there.
it's more like creating stairs. Everyone goes on top of each other, and if you guys are coordinated enough, one guy will be able to jump to the next area, press the button, a bridge will come out maybe, and everyone can pass through.
Ah, okay, okay,
So
okay.
Interesting.
that's how the Pico Park works. So yeah,
It,
pixelated
it
cats, cooperation, and communication. Like everyone comes here. No, no, no! Don't go there. Why are you still down there? Something like that. Oh,
okay.
that's fun. Yeah, Pico Park.
All right, I'm going to throw in a couple of suggestions that showed up in the comments.
Okay.
So we have from Denmark, we have Junk Art. So yep, another dexterity balancing game. Um, this one was on my list, so best treehouse ever, but it is very very basic balance left and
It's
right,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. It's a left
keeping
and
the
right.
same rooms of the same color together. This one is a really good suggestion, but this is also a little bit of like maybe an interior design type thing.
Mm.
But yeah, Castles of Mad King Ludwig fits. I am not familiar with Pipeline, but
Um,
I mean, it's coming
it's
from Dwayne, who is an engineer, so
There you
yes.
go.
we'll take your word for it.
Pipeline is another Euro where you are managing those the oil wells, if I'm not mistaken. So that one.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
Pipeline.
Also,
Really
one from
cool box
Rooney.
cover. Praga Kaput Regni. Did I
Okay,
pronounce
to
that?
build Prague's bridges. Okay, and
Ah,
castle.
nice,
Okay.
nice, nice.
Oh,
I think that's
bridges.
All
what they
right.
normally just call Praga. I never actually knew the full name.
Prague.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, here another one. Team 3.
Yes. Actually,
Oh,
Team 3 is a
Denmark
little bit
seems to be
more.
ready for the engineering topic. Like, he was ready for Dwayne's
yeah.
curveball.
All right. Uh, are we doing the last one, right?
All
I
right.
believe.
Third recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
my top of the list, which is the one that I really quickly like. Okay, this is my number one. It's called Spurlopolis. Spurlopolis. Yes. Okay, Spurlopolis. It's a pocket. It's one of those wallet games where you have these cards that have different uh, zones. So you have a residential zone, you have an industrial zone, you have parks and malls, and and they have roads in between, and you have to build your city, Spurlopolis, in such a way that you are able to minimize the roads that go nowhere, at the same time sort of adhere with all of the building requirements for the objectives of your it's a co-op game, and you guys are trying to build the best city that you guys could, and you do that by depending on the situation, like it needs to have parks on a row, and or it has to have the different industrial cities should be alternating with um, the residential and so forth. So I think
Okay.
it's very city planning. Very, if you're in a civil engineer, I played this with my mom, who's a civil engineer, and my dad, and they liked it because they felt like it was their city planning task. So my number one,
Nice.
Scrollopolis.
All right. So I can't believe I'm the one that is avoiding the heavy games. So everything that comes to mind is really just like light
Scrollopolis is
games.
tiny.
Fine, but it's a run level game. Now, so okay, what came to mind is I wanted to throw in tiny towns because
Oh,
you have such a
that's
small
more
little grid
challenging.
that's why, but
Yeah.
you just have such a small little grid to
Yes,
put down
yes,
buildings. So
yeah.
it's like a super micro city building project. But I did learn this game at the same time as another game that you guys brought out, which also could work, which is Warsaw.
Mm.
Yes, yes,
So
yeah.
it depends just how heavy you want. But yeah, city planning is very interesting. I think there's that other game that we always end up seeing, Suburbia
Yes, yes,
also
yes,
comes to mind. So
yes.
that I was just thinking around the lines of city planning. So tiny towns was the first one that popped in my head, but it's like, do I have to make it a little heavier?
My yes. Tiny towns is my brain don't work for it. I crash and burn for that one. Okay, how about you, Kio?
Again, I'm going digital. If we're talking about engineering, there's a game called Nimbatus.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Nimbatus is a 2D create your own drone
Oh,
in any
okay.
design to make a certain scenario work. Let's say the scenario says drill a hole here. These are your items. Design a drone that will drill a hole here by itself using
Mm-hmm.
physics and the design that you create. That's practically engineering in itself.
Yes,
So
yes,
it
yes.
yes, Nimbatus. That's my
Ac-
top
Actually,
one.
I had like a runner up, which is a digital game also,
Mm-hmm.
which is scrap mechanic. So
I heard
of
about that.
course
Yeah,
Minecraft is construction
construction. Yes,
engineering
as is.
Minecraft, but if like technical engineering, scrap mechanic is amazing. You're if you haven't tried it, it's you can build machines. So you have, let's say, a wheel. You put a controller on the wheel, and now you can make it turn. You connect that to a steering wheel, and now you can make those wheels turn with the steering wheel. You can connect four of those, and suddenly you now
Oh,
have a.
this is like one of those Lego robotics
Yeah,
programs.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is
Something
it
like that.
is.
That's exactly how Nimbatus is as well. Only this time you're a spaceship.
Ah,
Can be
yeah.
as big or small as you want, as long as you have the important items in your drone. But if it's too heavy on one side, your drone will never work it out. It's funny. So there's gravity and physics involved. It's fun. Yeah, and I understand that line of thinking with a mechanical game. That's
Cool.
perfect. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
A note from Dwayne. So he mentioned that pipeline is actually the pretty close to the industry that he actually does. So you run a refinery and you compete against other players to purchase, refine, and sell oil. Okay.
Yes, he works in oil
Mm.
and gas. And then Luvin said Beyond the Sun.
Oh,
Well,
still haven't played.
I
Nope.
think it's probably the whole Mars and space, and you have
No,
to.
please, no more Mars. Even
Colonization is that?
even terraforming Mars could be argued to be engineering related, but just
It is.
give it a rest. Give the red planet a rest, people.
Okay. All right.
Don't trigger happy, guys.
So we can remove engineering. Hey,
Manufacturing, okay,
all
done.
right.
Last
Let's
roundup.
go.
All right, right. Okay, come on, come on. Oh,
Oh.
Oh,
interesting.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
okay,
Okay.
All
okay,
right, so
okay.
I want to preface this. So we did talk about this at the start of the show, that looking at the wheel, um, tourism technically we do have food and beverage, but hotel and restaurant. I think hotel industry would fit in here, like hospitality, flight attendants, pilots,
Airline.
maybe sorry, airlines, even down to cruise, like ship captains and whatnot. So
Yes.
basically, we're sticking with like the capabilities of traveling.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna cross over
Cool.
here, that's for sure. Yep.
Well,
So,
very first one, trek in the world.
Oh, you were thinking about that too, huh?
all right. So have we put it out quickly? Because I think
Yeah, because
there's
I know it's gonna show up in the comments.
For
Mine, I
sure.
chose it.
Quick, before someone says it.
how does trekking the world work? I mean,
So
play.
basically, the way that trekking the world works is that you are pretty much supposed to go to certain locations or certain monuments and also like famous spots and sort of like have experiences there, like have like a photo there or something that
Hmm.
you're taking trinkets, you're also having like souvenirs from certain locations, and the more that you gather it starts giving you more points. So the whole idea is more of exploring the world and just completing these little objectives. So you kind of learn a little bit about some monuments around the world, but it's also just very light.
Okay. Cool. 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 Um, my recommendation would be a favorite game of mine. It's not necessarily specific locations, but it does evoke the sense of wandering and traveling, which is Sunset Over Water.
Oh, yeah,
So,
good, good.
so
Ooh.
you are a painter and you want to wake up as early as you could or as late as you want, and walk around these really beautiful parks and try to capture as much of these small paintings that you could. And if you can make a nice collection, you get money out of it. But it's really just you sort of planning out your day, and sort of immersing yourself in this nice wilderness. So that's my recommendation. Number three, Sunset Over Water.
My third one would be like what Javi said a while ago, Pan Am. Aside from the
Mm.
obvious, the fact that you are airlines, you actually get to know cities around the world. And there's at least how many? 16? About more than 11 destinations and their own perks depending on where they are in the map, which gives you a pretty good idea on travel, where to go, which one is around, which one is near each other, and pretty basic parts aside from the industrial part of the game. Yes,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
yeah, Pan Am first crossover with
Cool.
Javi.
All
All
right.
right. Okay.
All
Javi.
right, let's see. I'm trying to. So Rococo was mentioned earlier, but it's like it's for like hosting a party. But it can kind of work. I think like in terms of like hospitality. So it was already mentioned. So I'm gonna try to think of a different one. So I'll
Okay.
I'll pass the ball first while
Okay.
I'm
All right. All
thinking of
right.
a different game.
Yeah. So while we're thinking, I can go through some of the reactions. So we have Morgan, of course, who's a parks. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
So it's similar
obvious.
to the trekking the world. Um, it's also very, very pretty. Uh, in the same line, of course, Tokaido, you're traveling up and down, right?
The onsen.
Ronnie had a good suggestion. How about time travel? Anachrony.
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay. Fair enough. Fair
yeah,
enough.
Fair enough, fair enough.
tourism,
Okay. Denmark mentioned all the ticket to rides.
which makes
Okay.
Yeah. Ticket to
sense.
Ride's actually pretty good suggestion. Okay.
Right. And then Morgan said tourism wingspan.
What?
Birds.
What?
Let,
What?
it Wingspan fits
Fine.
in the category.
I guess birding is like something you can add in as
That's
like
true.
a tourism thing. Sure. Fair enough.
birding.
So
Okay.
Ivan has a really
So
good suggestion. Now
okay.
boarding is a
Oh yeah, now boarding. Yeah.
real time
Okay.
co-op. You're trying to manage the different passengers from different lanes. It actually really reminds me of that train game, the mobile
Yeah.
train game,
Yeah. I know that. What do you call that? Uh,
mini something.
yeah.
We can remember later.
Yes,
Around the
we
world in
can.
80 days. And I did think about this also
Well,
pandemic because of the
because
differences.
it involves like the world, sure. But so I did have one that comes to mind now, and I'm surprised no one's mentioned it yet. Viticulture.
Oh, okay,
Oh, culture.
interesting.
So
Oh,
okay, so you're
right.
taking the worker placement mechanic, okay, but that's right. The whole idea of again going to like hospitality, of like running a vineyard, and it also kind of has a little bit of the manufacturing involved. But the idea here is that we're talking like isolated tourism. We're not like venturing out. Instead, it's accommodating people who come to a certain location. So it's a little bit of a reverse role in a way. But I think that the game in its theme is very simple. It's not complicated. You don't have to
Mhm.
take into consideration heroes and villains and other things like that. You literally just make wine.
Okay, okay, okay. So my sort of tourism adventure-ish game would be Karuba. So you
Mm.
are sort of giving this. Oh, we are kind of like uh, these explorers, and we have to go to um, this other part of the mine. Of course, you're just making bingo with your tiles. But Karuba, I think, is at least gives them that sense of exploring what's there and sort of anticipating what they can put on next. So that's my number two recommendation, Karuba. How
Karuba.
about you,
You already have
Hiro?
something on mind, have you?
Yeah, so I do have one last, and it's actually almost a reverse recommendation. That for
Oh.
some people in the tourism industry, that they might just need to let go a little bit, and get a little bit of that feeling out. And so this one game that I'm not particularly a fan of, but could maybe bring some catharsis to them, is called Bloody Inn. So Denmark can talk about this game for hours. But so basically, this is like the Norman Bates of running a hotel. So the idea is that you are trying to keep your guests in your hotels forever.
And never let them go.
Forever, never let them go because
and
they're just
not
there in the
get caught
backyard.
doing it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I would mention Ivan. It is Mini
Yes,
Metro. That
mini
was the
metro.
one we were thinking about. Um, Fred mentions Hotel Tycoon, which
Yep,
is
Hotel
the
Tycoon. No? Okay.
tourism version of Monopoly. We talked about this Grand Austria Hotel, and this one really felt like the slog of a hotel. So I'm not sure. It just plays quite long because of that reverse um, draft. So I'm not entirely um, sure if this is if you just met somebody who's in the hotel and business, that there'd be something that they would like. Um, so my last recommendation, because this is uh, sort of tourism, part of tourism is food, and the best way to learn about the culture is through their food. And my recommendation is Food Truck Champion.
Okay,
So
interesting.
Oh.
That's a
Wow.
spin. We
Okay.
do have food and beverage as one of the industries.
yes, I know, but this is our last one anyway, so I wanted to squeeze it in.
That's why I threw bloody in as well. Just like fine, just like kill your guests, bury them, not don't get caught by the cops. Like,
Yeah. So Food Truck Champion, it's my food chain magnet, but really condensed. It's very a small footprint as well. But you are an owner of a food truck, and you wanna hire some workers to multi-card use bias. Ha ha ha.
yeah,
Yes.
it's a given.
Yes. But what's really, really fun about the game is there's a Filipino food truck in the game, and the sisters they make adobo and
Oh, their lunch.
sinigang and
Okay.
um, halo halo. So they're all in there. So it's really nice because you get to introduce that to when I have visitors from other countries. The best way for me to introduce them about our culture and our history is through food. So
Through
for me, tourism
food.
and food is very connected. That's my number
Okay.
one.
Perfect.
Kyo?
My last one is one of my favorite games, which I actually taught many years ago. Spyfall.
Oh, okay.
Spyfall. Okay, interesting.
Spyfall. What's the whole point of Spyfall? Finding out where you are, right?
Ah, yes. Okay.
Exactly.
Fair
The
enough.
multitude of places that you are. How? Okay, fine. If you're in tourism, there's so many adjectives to use, so many things to help you
That's
describe a
that's
place.
actually a pretty good that's a very valid point. I was thinking
Right?
about this, but in a different industry actually on the wheel that I was thinking of um in real estate having Dixit as a recommendation because you
Dixit,
you,
Mm.
you
yeah,
can practice just how creative and descriptive you can be. So yeah, Spyfall
correct.
is actually a
Spyfall is
pretty
about
good
location.
like translation of that.
Exactly, and figuring out as you're like the tour. If you're the spy, you're the tourist. If you're the spy, you're
You
the
don't
tourist. You're
know
like
where you are.
you don't know where you are. You want to. You're listening for clues, and for tourists, for the people in the tourist industry, they can help you without saying it directly, and that's where the skill comes in Spyfall.
I
No
think
matter
so.
what you
Being
say,
able to
what
like
have
describe your area in a
without
way
even
that
saying it. Yeah,
yes. Hmm.
yeah.
I
Spyfall.
never thought about it like that.
I
Cool.
know that's an
And
interesting way of looking at it.
and
There you
it's
go.
Spyfall has always been a very easy tool to introduce like
That is
sort of
correct.
this spy mechanic or at least the hidden role mechanic to new gamers. Didn't they make Spyfall for
There's part two.
this
Uh,
part two?
1, 2, DC
Ah,
comics.
there you go.
Yeah,
I wanted to try the DC one.
yeah. If you're familiar with DC comic areas, like if you're in the Batcave, what would you say? Dinosaur. Like what? Batman has got a dinosaur in his cave without saying Batcave, right? Or even the word bats.
Yeah, that would be too obvious. Like they would know instantly.
Oh man, this game is can range from general patronage to R18 in less than
Oh
two
yeah.
questions. In
Yes,
less
yeah,
than two
yeah.
questions.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times.
Mhm.
All right.
That's it.
Okay,
Spyfall.
cool. So I think that's pretty much it. Uh,
It's nice that we were able to test ourselves on the fly tonight. Just
you
like
That's pretty hard.
what games
guys
can we
want to do
come up
one quick
with?
fire? One quick fire? One quick fire?
Fine, fine. Oh yeah, yeah. We still have
Quick
some time.
fire.
I'm
Okay,
down.
okay, let's go. Quick fire. One
Oh,
recommendation, best one that you can think of for education.
Hmm.
mm,
Interesting.
mm,
Education.
All right, I can go first. So
All
for
right.
me, my main recommendation for education is the Choose Your Own Adventure series. Mainly because of it is a lot of reading, and they have to do a bit of public speaking. They do have to make these decisions, but it's very light. It's also can be done in a school setting, so I can be um, the teacher and I am running the game and they are making decisions. I'm just rolling for whatever the class is deciding, but I can have different kids come up and um, read the passage and ask their classmates to speak up. So that's my
Okay.
twist on how I would recommend a game to somebody who's like an educator.
education. Yeah, education.
I think I would go with something that they can learn a little bit from, but don't have to be so accurate about. So wits and wagers comes to mind.
Hmm.
That is
Good.
good. That is
That's
also
a
very good. Yeah,
good,
yeah, yeah.
very good
Yes,
suggestion.
yes,
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
you don't have to be exact. You just have to be close to the answer. So that allows for a lot of flexibility and a lot of like aha moments that they might just remember some little fact that is part of the game.
And you wanna just bet on the smartest person in the room. So that's
Bet on, yeah, bet on him.
right. Like
Bet on
okay,
the other guy's team.
yeah,
Oh, he
they're
knows the
smart.
answer.
We just wanna anticipate. So you hedge your bets with that person. Yep. Yes, that works. I like it.
Me, the top of my head would become a little bit of an obscure game. It's called, and this might be a little bit Hear me out. Why? And it's called. It's called. But wait, there's more.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
classic.
Okay.
Classic game.
Oh, I still
That
have. Oh yeah,
that
I still
yeah,
have.
it's a not it doesn't come onto the table often, but if it when it does, and people if and let's say you're in education, the things you teach have to be believable. You have to gain the trust of your students, let them believe what you're saying is true, and this game actually helps you choose the exact words that will help you and the audience believe what you're saying, and the compilation of how you create your sentences matters a lot, because if they
Well,
make no sense, no one's gonna vote for you. No one's gonna like okay, but wait, there's more. And this is on the fly too as well. Especially when someone asks you, okay, wait, there's more. I want what if ganyan. They're like, oh, you can do this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, there. So it's more about the trust between how you express yourself. So as an
mhm, mhm.
educator, that's very important. That people know that
Okay.
you know what you're talking about.
But the funny part about it is that you may not necessarily do know what you're talking about, but as long as you can
Exactly.
sell yourself,
You can
then that's
sell
fine.
yourself.
So this is what we're teaching, to fake it till you make it.
Oh, dude. Is it snake oil like that?
Yes, yes, snake
Oh
oil
my
is the same.
god, that game, another one.
I like that game.
Snake oil.
I miss that game. I don't know where my snake oil is. It's somewhere.
There you go. That's
You
All
it.
know,
right.
also in that same, I mean, depending on the level of like your audience, like in terms of age and references, even times up can work.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
chronological thing. Yes.
No, I
Yeah.
mean times up is just
No,
there
no,
are, you
that's
can buy it
timeline.
based.
A
Yeah, that's
timeline.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong
timeline.
game.
Yeah, no, no.
That
Times up
times
is
up is
like
different.
based on like topics. Like you can get times up that's just all about movies, or that's all
Mhm.
about history. And the
Yeah.
idea is that round one is like you can describe the word without saying the word, and then round two is like charades that you can only use gestures, and then round three is like you only get to do like one action and they have to guess it, but you're using the same pool of words.
Mhm.
So like the repetition and like callbacks to previous rounds really play an important role.
Cool. I
Reminds
wonder
me
if
of
you can
Jackbox.
to make that twist of that game where you're studying like medical terms or something for your class, and you're using that to sort of imprint like memories because people are making
Yep.
these,
Isn't there
Technically,
a
you
table of
could,
elements
like, if you
game?
had a card that had the word and then an image of it, and then on the round three, pretty much is that without the card, like someone has to get you to say the word with
yeah,
some kind of reference. Like,
yeah, cool.
Isn't there a periodic table game?
There is, so
There
there's
there
is.
actually
is.
a lot of those. So and
Periodic table game.
I
There.
have compounded,
Yun,
which I kept
compounded.
for my son, but he didn't have problems with chemistry, so we didn't play need to play it.
Oh, there, another reverse learning experience. Unspeakable words.
Mm.
Because you start
Oh.
making up words.
Making up. Hey, that's fun. That's funny.
All right, so Ivan mentions alma
Victory.
mater, so this is really a Euro theme
Denmark
inside like a
also
school.
put in a good suggestion for pandemic. I think
Yes,
co-op can definitely work in an educational setting,
and also the
although
cities,
the
you
topic
know,
is a little heavy,
yeah,
depending on the audience.
especially nowadays. But pandemic really actually helped me. Oh, Johannesburg is there. It's like
Oh, so
I
that's
didn't
where it is
know.
in the map.
Yeah, it's like so. It's an advantage most board gamers have to people who don't necessarily are familiar with the world map. That we have played pandemic and we know like where things kind of are roughly, because you always have
Yeah,
to look for like where's Karachi again, Oh,
I,
okay,
ca-
okay.
I can
That's
only
correct.
imagine. Just like, do you know where Ho Chi Minh is? The red region of the map. Like, what?
Yes.
Evolution card games. Isn't that science?
No, well, there is evolution, yes, and then they turned it into a card game to make it a little easier. So yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah. Smash up. Oh. Oh.
Gino says Smash Up forces you to do quick arithmetic. Lots of it. That's true.
Actually, yes.
That
Well,
is true.
there is still the game that is built on the quickest arithmetic. It is called Magic the Gathering, sirs.
I thought 789. That
No,
789
no.
card game was pretty
I
fast.
I would contest. I would contest my math game, if we're talking about math game, is straw. The
Oh,
straw
okay,
that
fine, fine. The
broke the
camel thing,
camel's
right,
Camels,
back.
right.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
dude, that's fun.
It is hilarious because you people are like pausing and you're thinking like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? No, I'm just trying to add.
I'm adding. I'm.
I'm adding. I'm not thinking. I'm just trying to add.
Will I go beyond
Um,
20?
All right. So
That's right.
Morgan mentions birds again. Ivan, flexi industry naman pala. I'm not sure which one he meant for this one. Santorini, yes, because of all of the
Mm-hmm.
Greek god mythology. Uh, as I mentioned, chemistry.
Chemistry.
So there's the
Wow.
atomic, subatomic. That's a board game.
Oh
Cytosis.
yeah.
So a lot of
Okay.
science content. So
Yeah, like
especially the
the
It's an insect
photosynthesis
game.
game.
yeah. So any game from I think education seems to be there's quite a lot because we're just like uh, recalling things. But pencil first games are very good at sort of education slash um, board game type content. Yes, Luvin. Compounded.
Dwayne's
Okay.
comment is yeah.
You want
Well,
math? Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
D&D is math masquerading as a tabletop game with sales because you got to sell whatever you were trying to
yes,
do.
you take away the dragons and it's literally just numbers bumping against each other.
Yes, it is roll to resolve.
That's a good
Alrighty.
point. D&D.
So
Cool.
cool. We
Yeah,
we
good
made it
episode.
I had fun.
fun, really quick fire. And I
Mental
think
gymnastics.
yeah. So if you guys have suggestions, we can stick them on the wheel. We can have this episode again in the future,
Yeah.
from time to time. And let's, you know, any
What if
ideas that you guys have for?
what do we call this segment of our show?
I called it recommendation roulette. It's a very
Ah, okay.
very long
RR.
title.
RR. Okay, guys, let's call it
Reco
RR.
Reco roulette.
Wheel of workforce. Like-
Big money, big money, big money.
Alrighty.
Spin.
we'll have a name for this, but you know what? This is definitely something that we can revisit.
Yes.
So
Yes, we will.
I think that our first attempt here, we got a lot of industries, but there, like some were pointed out, like engineering. So maybe we added logistics. But if we've already done the topic, then we probably would want to spin again, unless we have different people on the show anyway. So um, this is, I think it came out to be a very interesting topic, something that we can revisit and refine. And that's also where all of the viewers come in, that your comments and your feedback is definitely appreciated and will help influence us when we decide to do this again. Just
Yes.
like the alcohol that influences me every day.
Every day. I was gonna say,
Like
hey
rubbing
guys on the
alcohol.
comments, yeah, you guys make sure the funniest ones or the weirdest kinds of suggestions would be definitely be
Vin
added here.
says Reco roulette. Pwede.
It kind of, it has a ring to it that could work.
Pwede.
Reco Role. Reco Role.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
So I hope you guys stay safe.
Right.
It is still, the pandemic is still rising, and so please, always keep safe. Play games online. Play digital games, solo games. So there are many ways for us to sort of decompress and de-stress from being hooked up at home. I think gaming has always been a fun way to take our mind off things and still be able to enjoy the moment, especially with uh, even if it's just with yourself or with friends and family.
Here, here.
So until next time, thank you everyone for watching. This is
Yep.
Fireball Play.
Keep
Stay
gaming,
safe.
guys.
Always game. Bye.
Bye.